changes, and everybody said the same thing. Change the battery, it's good. I did. But kind of a bitch of fine because big battery.
No. It's not one of those 2032s?
No, it was a weird ass. I don't know what it was. One, not a
interesting.
When'd you pick up the bet?
My sister gave it to me.
I want a sister like that.
She lives right there.
But my son has 3 sons. I had 1 son. I'm one of 3 sons. My dad was one of 3 sons. So 4 generations of nothing but boys, no girls.
Hold on, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Wes has 3 sons now.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah, we can change that. He's going to change that, won't you?
Surprise!
3 more!
Really?
Already on the
Yeah,
way.
just found out this week.
Triplets?
From her?
Yep. She called me. She's like,
Triplets.
yep. She's like, surprise. She's like, my period's late.
Shit.
And she,
We better hurry through this immigration process.
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
Dude, you know the copay on it getting fixed is like $25,
yeah,
right?
I know what keeps causing the to happen. Thank you.
Then you can stab it all you want,
Well,
free of charge.
I think this is it for me. I don't think I have enough energy in me for another
Oh, dude, the 3 you got are,
a handful.
dude. I'm impressed.
She wanted this kid, so you can make her raise it.
There we go.
hey, I brought you into this country. The least you can do is take care of that kid.
Yeah, she's totally loving that
I'm
deal.
going riding with the boys.
She's like, all right, so right now it costs me less than $1,000 to live here, and you want me to move there? Wait, it snows there?
yeah.
She's like, and it's
don't
going to
you
cost
move
me
here?
more? She's like, really?
I bought all these extra snow shovels just for you. I'm pregnant out to here.
They're pink.
All right, Liberty Led Podcast. Keep it local, keep it cash. Tell the feds to kiss your ass. I'm Ty.
I'm Moo.
I'm Trigger.
I'm Wes.
Lynn.
All right, guest Wes and Lynn tonight. Wes and his dad. So what are we gonna hit on? You got traffic bitches?
Oh,
No, we can skip that. We got enough stuff to hit on.
yeah.
Okay, what do you got?
The fucking government and the way they just fuck the American people.
Well, that narrows it down.
If you didn't already know, we're pretty right wing.
What, was sending, 175 million or something to...
Billion.
Was it billion to freaking...
Ukraine or no,
Mexico for
Lebanon.
immigration and Lebanon for
Lebanon, there you go,
humanitarian aid.
Yep.
And
Maybe
then,
that's a million.
That was only,
only offering $750 loans to Americans.
Are they
and then
seriously
denying
fucking
them.
loans?
Yeah,
Oh, they're loans?
they're loans.
That's the first I'd heard that.
Yeah. I heard it earlier. I heard you say it earlier, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Well,
You got to be kidding me.
you know, the illegals
They're-
are flying in.
And
They gave
housing,
free
and
money.
giving them money,
They,
and
they give them
food,
all that, and
health care.
but they are charging them for the flight. But they're telling them, "Don't worry, we're not going to come after you for it." I bet the $750 will get the same deal, right?
Yeah. The government would never go after an American citizen for money. They've never had a track record of that.
Shut up.
Dude, I
Fucking
mean,
You keep
assholes.
voting for it.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that we didn't used to have an income tax.
Yeah, they brought it in as a tax on the rich.
on the rich.
And it quickly spiraled into everybody.
That's because Americans, I mean, if you compare us to overseas, we're all rich, right? Even
Well,
the
first, wasn't
Not
it
anymore.
first the tax came in during wartime to help fund the war?
Correct.
And building all that shit.
And it was just-
And since then, it's just went up and up and up. And
They're like, oh, we can tax the
That's
rich.
Social Security
after the
tax
war, they
price.
didn't stop it. They just kept going. Like, you motherfuckers got enough money out of it.
Nothing quite permanent like a temporary government program.
yeah.
we have some topics to go over.
Speaking of voting, you guys were talking about that last week, and there is a website where you can check your vote.
Is
and
there?
My house still has the previous owner.
Is he alive?
Yes, they are still alive.
Is he still
it doesn't say
voting?
that they voted from my house, but they're still on the registry.
But if you key in his name, does it come up with your address again?
That I didn't try the other way around.
Gosh.
So what you're saying is if he wanted to, he could claim to still live in the area and vote?
Technically, yeah.
Oh, that's not fucked up.
Right?
Yeah, but in his defense, Wes has only lived there since 2008.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's only been 16 years.
Yeah, no big deal. It's such a small amount of time.
Yeah.
What? 4 election cycles?
Which state
what's
cleaned
the
up
big deal?
their voter rolls? Was it Georgia? They found out.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been the first time you voted for Obama.
Like 600,000.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
bet if we did our own, or somebody, I don't know if I could even pull that off. However, but if we did the research on it, Michigan's got to be one of the worst.
Oh, yeah.
We would make Georgia blush.
And your attorney general is trying to make sure that it stays that way.
Yep. It's
Really?
a criminal offense
Yeah.
if we
When
question the election.
Nessel, or
Yep, Nessel.
yeah, Nessel.
Yep. We are not allowed to question the election come November.
You
I'm gonna
are
question
a
it.
criminal.
Yep. And
Are you kidding?
she set it up so that it is a criminal offense.
Well, then she got to go.
Of course you did.
Hey,
prisons are already
Detroit,
overrun. They're
Detroit,
gonna
and
fill 'em.
downtown Grand Rapids, and
Look,
all of
man.
Lansing determined this.
I'm just going to say the 19th Amendment, maybe it's time to reconsider.
If I remember, never mind.
You lost me. I don't recall. it, the
19th. The giving women the right
Women's.
to vote.
Oh,
That's
maybe-
MOODY.
Of all the things I've said, that's pretty tame.
Yeah, no shit.
suffragette.
Gosh.
That's the 19th.
Every day, I don't watch TV, I don't watch news, but every day I see the social media side of things, and like DC Drano or Tank Guns or Harris, or not the bad Harris, the black guy, whatever. All these guys post these videos of the dumbass shit the government's doing today, and every day it pisses me off.
Yeah.
It pisses all of us off. But again, I don't watch TV, so I don't get the.
The full effect?
I certainly don't watch CNN or any of the.
Well, hold
That'll
on.
get you even more pissed
I've
off.
called Wes during the day. If he works from home, he's got that TV on the news all day long.
Never.
I mean, when he's not actively working.
It's in the background.
Well, he's got to keep an eye on his girlfriend Harris.
Right? got his pants around his ankle every time she comes out.
That's nice that you
What
think I
was
wear
it?
pants.
Dudes for Harris.
I think every dude's for that hole.
Nah, she's been run through by Bobby Brown.
Now,
P. Diddy,
everybody, every ditty.
798 dildos.
Weinstein.
So that's why Diddy has all that oil.
No,
Puts the lotion on the skin.
it's been refined though.
That's why they call Democrats slimy. They're covered in baby oil.
Slide all the way out to the car when they leave ditty. I mean, I love Trump. Is he the best? Maybe not. In our current situation, he is.
Oh,
I was going to say, given the situation, by all means, yes. He is the best candidate we have to vote for.
highly imperfect instrument, but
Right.
oh my goodness.
He's
He's
better
got-
than a career politician.
what do you-
Any day of the week.
What do you think the most powerful thing he's done is?
For this election coming up, or all together?
Since he's gotten into politics. Says he started
Most
running for
powerful
president.
thing he's done. Wow.
The most influential, the
on.
most changing.
Most
That'll
changing.
change this nation.
When he was working out a deal
Tariffs.
with the leader of the Taliban to pull Americans out of Afghanistan, it would be an orderly withdrawal. And he got to a point where he wanted the interpreter to relay the message that if you harm the hair, a single hair on the hair of an American, I'll drop a bomb on your house. And the interpreter didn't want to relay the message because he's the leader of the Taliban. So Trump pulled out a picture of the leader of the Taliban's house and handed it to him and
tell
fucked
him,
off.
Why are you showing me this? That's
And
my
then
house.
there was
You figure it out.
was it the Sikh of Saudi Arabia?
The
Sheik, that's what it was. Like, it's forbidden to touch him. And in one of those UN conferences, He patted him on the shoulder
Turban.
as he walked by.
Well, he went across his turban because that's like super passe.
Well, it was
whatever.
like patted his shoulder or something as he walked by.
Well, nobody can touch the bed sheets.
No, that's
Well-
like, especially of the Sheik, and that's a big deal.
Well, the security kind of like froze,
They're like, oh,
and
what
the
did he
Sheik
just do?
turned and saw who it was, and then it was like, never mind.
Do it again.
It's fine.
Do it again.
yeah.
What do you
Yeah, I
think?
would
What do you think is the most important thing that
I would
Trump's-
say the rise of the economy.
Yeah, he really boosted
The economy in his 4 years in office, the economy strived. The unemployment rate went significantly lower. He moved so many jobs back to the U.S. from foreign nations.
Yep.
Is it because of the tariffs?
Largely.
I was going to say the tariff.
Tariff and
you know,
corporate
the,
tax cuts.
the whole umbrella of the tariffs and
Yeah, the tax cuts were
Not
big.
even, I was just saying, not even necessarily just corporate. Tax cuts in general.
Well,
But-
corporate tax cuts would get the companies to come back.
Yep.
But incentives, that shit, he didn't.
But,
Yeah.
and of course, the Democrats want to say, "Oh, he gave tax cuts to the rich." Like that's a bad thing. Yeah,
Trickle down.
If
Well,
same with Reagan, he did the same thing Reagan did, and the income. Don't look at the rate that everyone's paying. Look at how much money came into the IRS. It like doubled.
Really?
Yeah, the amount of money, I don't know how much it was, but it was a lot more money came into the IRS because he cut taxes on the rich. So if you're talking to anybody and you want to make that understood, then it's like, don't look at the rate.
Well,
look at how those people produced jobs that brought in so much more tax revenue.
Cutting the taxes on the rich freed up the money of the poor because now they don't have to pay in. If you raise taxes on the landlord, well, now your rent's going to go up because my profit margin is 35%.
True.
It will never be below that. I can make
Right.
a 40% profit margin. Your rent's going to go up.
That's right.
But then these people bitch about the rent going up.
Any tax on
Okay.
anything
Well,
you buy is going to be out of our pocket.
I've said
if
this
we buy
before.
it, we're paying the tax.
But if you free the money up from the people, they're going to go shopping and they're going to spend
more money.
taxes on that.
And if you free it up from the rich people, then they're going to create more jobs, but they're also with those more jobs is more goods being sold. You get sales tax, you get all, of course the federal doesn't collect sales tax, but it just all over, the whole economy is super powered and you get a lot more tax revenue.
well,
out of it.
Did he say he's going to put 100% tax on cars getting made? Or
so
was it?
I've said this to
From other countries.
Yeah.
I said this a couple weeks ago, maybe last week. The left doesn't seem to be able to think past one or two steps ahead. So if you raise the corporate tax rate like Kamala wants to do, all it's going to do is pass that cost along. Because
Right.
you think
Correct.
corporations are going to say, well, I guess we're not making as much profit this year.
Oh,
Nah,
darn.
fuck you guys.
and-
You're paying more for the
Well, you
same
said it
thing.
price-
yourself. They don't see 2 moves ahead or only 2 moves ahead, but they see the 2 moves ahead and they get their vote.
The left
Well-
can't think that far ahead, but then they'll say
That-
the other side is uneducated.
That's
Yes.
I think
Every
that's
time.
wrong. I mean, you're right. They're not looking after the interest of Americans. Looking
no,
ahead.
I'm talking about the average leftist, not the
Oh yeah, okay, not
party
the leaders. Not the leaders. Yeah, the average voter out there, they have no
cannot
clue.
think more than 1 or 2 steps ahead, but they're educated.
And the
And this
left
is all
leaders
getting-
bank on that.
This
Yeah.
is all getting to what I'm going to tell you. What I think is the most important thing Trump did. But these are all real important things. I'm not ready to talk about that yet. But what is it you said
Which part?
just recently?
2 steps ahead.
Yeah, thank you. The leadership is not working in the interest of America. The leadership is following the money. We don't really know where the money's coming from. We have a pretty good idea of a lot of the different sources, but ultimately we don't know where that money's coming from. People like Soros, that's one of the big ones. I mean, he's got multi-billion dollars and he's dedicated something like $36 billion to his political endeavors. How much political influence can $36 billion buy?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, and then you hide it all in
And media.
packs.
And
You
media.
hide it all in packs, which are tax-free, And then through these PACs, they do all these things that are bringing down America. 'Cause that's what Soros wants. He's the one that propped up all the, Colorado was the first one to go from red to blue. Why is that? It's because Soros went in and he said, just like Breitbart used to say, all politics is local. So he's going down to the local level. He's getting the school boards, the local prosecutors, the judges. He's supporting all them. And all of a sudden, everyone's voting Democrat. So that is a big part of it. So anyway, I'm getting off track. What were you thinking is the best thing? Oh, you're
right.
Well, so
my
my ex is a nice example of the left membership,
Yeah.
the left sheeple, and she is dead set that Trump is all for the billionaires and refuses to accept that the billionaires back Kamala.
Right. Yep.
Like,
It's amazing.
They're not backing Trump.
And why is that? It is emotions. The people that tend to be Democrats tend to be ones that vote more on their feelings than up
we knew
here.
that. Yeah.
And all you have to do is appeal to their feelings, and there's this big swath of America that just bows down. Kind of comes a little bit to the 19th Amendment you were talking about. Now, obviously, I think women should vote.
Yeah.
But you have to acknowledge the fact that a whole bunch of them are going to vote off their feelings, not off the issues.
Can we repurpose a
Because
different
that's kind of the way
law
women are made.
tied into the 19th and make it 3/5, but for women?
Well,
No, let's not go there.
What was it? What was it?
You said
a comedian said like Americans would rather let black men vote than women. That's why allowing black people to vote was the 13th Amendment, and then allowing women was the 19th. They're like, we'd rather just have the black guys vote.
You ever watched that Boardwalk Empire? All right, never mind now. Anyway,
So-
you said something about they're dumping their cash and their attention into the small communities, trying to get them to change.
Right.
Schools, teachers, professors, colleges,
Prosecutors. Like
judges.
Kamala Harris.
The teachers are
that's a classic
brainwashing
example.
the kids. Our kids.
Yes.
Your kids, mine.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yours.
So where's that money coming from? These people.
Because they're holding cotton.
These people, his are in a sock under his bed.
It's
Why the kids cross the road? Because I put the
I'm
wrong
hoping
sock
it's
on
picking it up here.
I'm an adult. It goes in the hamper.
So the bucks are coming from the billionaires who are really, their idol is like Mao Zedong, turn the kids against the parents so that we can have all power.
Same strategy.
Turn your the parents who have a clue what's going on, turn them in so that we can silence them, so that we can have total control over all you kids, and when you grow up, you'll be supporting us.
Same
It's
strategy
all
the
about
Nazis did.
greed. It's all about power. They want to have total power over people. They want to be worshipped because they don't believe in God, because they want to be God. That's really what it boils down to, what their motive is. So, I asked what do you think Trump did the greatest? What really got me was early on, he had the balls to call out the media. The
The
media.
Soros bought media.
Well, he had
Exactly.
the balls to call out Hillary as well.
Yes.
When
Somehow you survived that.
Hillary was talking about
But-
how he doesn't pay his taxes, and he's like, "That's because I'm smart."
Your donors use the same tax breaks I use.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're not going to close
I
it.
followed the law.
That you all wrote.
You opened it.
That's right.
I used it. I'm not dumb.
Right.
You're
I'm
gonna
not-
call me out on it and try to change these people's minds?
Yep.
Kiss my ass.
So, and he closed a lot of loopholes, I believe, with his tax that he passed.
I'm sure Biden opened them right back up.
Probably.
I can't believe
I'm
day
sure they
one.
don't tax China and frickin' everything out
So,
there on their money.
but
All of us right wingers seen him sit down that day one and change all that shit like the Keystone Pipeline. Of course, we're going to bring that up. And the like of all those. What did he change? How many did he sign that first day? There was a handful.
A ton.
And
Oh, it was like
all of us
30,
right wingers are like,
37 or
"Are you
something?"
fucking kidding me? Gas prices just jumped."
Of
And
all the
just
days
jumped.
when he could actually sit down and spend a day doing something, that was the day.
I just
yeah, the Keystone Pipeline was the second thing he signed to frickin' Abolish?
What was the first thing? I thought that was.
But the
first.
president doesn't have any
It was probably the wall.
measure over the gas price.
It might have been the wall.
That's right. That's what they'll tell you.
Shut down construction on the
Yeah,
wall,
right.
so
My
2
ass.
years later he could fill in the gaps left by the previous administration.
So I want to.
Yeah. Right.
I want to address the media more because this is so crucial. Why was he going against the media right off the bat?
Because the media is a bunch of freaking fat ass liars.
Yeah, but what's the effect of that? So what? They're a bunch of idiots.
Because the
So
media.
Influences everybody else that watches it.
What do we got? We got 20 outlets: CNN, CSNB, whatever. One of them is right wing. The rest is left wing.
Right.
And they word everything one way
Yep.
to direct minds, especially the young minds.
the gullible ones.
And the
The
one
government.
right-wing outlet is just a controlled outlet.
It's owned by a leftist.
It's owned by Disney, isn't it?
No. Fox
Murdoch's.
News is owned by Murdoch, who is a
foreigner.
Well, yeah, he's a foreigner. Technically, they made him a U.S. citizen, but it was only so he could buy Fox News. He didn't get in the way everyone else gets in. It's like, oh, you got billions of dollars, you want to buy Fox? Okay, you're a citizen. That's how.
Fast track this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
So his
You got
interest
$millions,
is not in America.
Wes? Get your wife here.
Yeah, don't let her listen to this. But the media is key. I mean, the Russians knew this. The Soviets knew this. That's why they took over the media so that they could keep the nation brainwashed. And I was in the military.
That's what I want the second half. You got to have some awesome stories. So let's get over the. We're going to have to finish the politics.
Okay.
Sooner than later.
So I'm in the military, and stories abounded when the wall came down, Berlin Wall.
I remember that. Reagan,
And-
baby.
Yep.
Normally
Reagan.
I wear a shirt tonight that says, what does it say? Raised on Reagan, 84.
Yeah, I voted for Reagan. It was my second time voting. Voted for Reagan, and a couple years later, I joined the military because he exploded the military. Why is that? Because Russia, they had a very powerful military, but what do you think their GDP was going into building that? And what portion of their GDP? A huge portion. It's like 13% or something, where we're spending maybe 4%. Whatever it was, they were spending like 3 or 4 times we were just to stay even with us. And so Reagan said, make them spend more.
Well, hold on. You say stay even with us. Let's be honest. The Russians have never really been able to keep up.
No, but they kept all their old jets. So, if we had 1,000 fighters, they had 4,000 fighters, So just by sheer numbers, they're going to lose a lot of people, but by sheer numbers, you got to deal with that. And same with everything, they dealt with numbers. Their stuff wasn't as good, but it was lethal. Wasn't anything to sneeze at. It's still going to kill us. He said, well, we'll just make them pay more. And basically, they couldn't keep up. So it's like, we better make friends. So, anyway, that's kind of how I understand it. I'm not
say
sure
that
that's
was
exactly
during
the way it went.
all the nuclear bullshit,
Cuban
wasn't
Missile
it?
Oh, yeah.
Crisis.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the Cuban Missile Crisis. That was John Kennedy, 1961.
Okay, then I'm just thinking that
That's when I was
nuclear
5 years
missile
old.
frickin- all the shutdowns and everything from the freaking.
We had a German exchange student when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Would have been, real early 90s.
Oh, come on.
Bullshit.
1890s,
My
maybe.
mom was still alive. My mom was still alive. And after he went home or whatever, he became a surgeon. But he sent us home part of that Berlin Wall. We got a chunk of it.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
neat.
Yeah, it's pretty
Nice. Well,
I got
So-
pictures of the biggest staple, or biggest chunk known in the U.S.
so there's a story of like a lieutenant colonel. So Reagan's, trust but verify. Okay,
Yeah.
you bring down your weapons, we'll bring down our nuclear weapons. So they had guys coming over here. Well, the Russians are like, okay, we'll send our guys over there. We got to check these things. And they said, don't worry, you're going to see this fabulous stuff. It's Potemkin Village. Yeah, research it. I won't take time telling it, but Anyway, they're big on making facades, make it look powerful, but what's behind it is empty.
Or
Yeah.
make it look weak, and what's behind it's powerful.
That can be too. But so if they have delegations coming over to the Soviet Union, they saw some pretty good stuff. All they had to do was walk behind the set,
Right.
They'd see what it was really like. But
Here's
what
where all
they-
your money's going.
But that's Soviet way of doing things. That's communism, and
Yeah, but communism is a good idea.
Oh,
Wes
it's
and
great.
I's generation
Great. I mean,
says
don't-
it's the way to go.
don't all our
many.
professors tell you that? Gee, of course.
Well, that's what I was getting at earlier.
Wes's kid's
Professors
gonna
are
be saying
brainwashing
that.
these kids. My kids in
Exactly.
school, the regular old high school, middle school teachers.
Yep. Because China.
My little girl's not, hers aren't terrible yet, but Gavin came
Yeah.
home and said, "Oh yeah, they try to tell you this is the way to vote and all this other shit."
Wes's oldest kid is about to go through that.
Yeah, we keep warning him.
Yep.
He says, "No, I'm well founded in my understanding." So-
Oh, he'll learn real quick. He's racist just for existing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
and that sucks.
Well, he kind of put up with a little bit of that at Okemos High School, where all the professors' kids
Wes,
go.
what is it you call that town?
Wokemus?
Okemos?
Yeah, Wokemus.
That's awesome.
Okay, what I enjoy about Okemos, sorry, quick sidetrack, is
Nothing.
they seem to pretend like there's some high class neighborhood. Their roads are absolute
That's
Garbage.
That's true.
all the way through town.
Those
Yeah.
roads should be
Worst
paved
roads.
with gold with how much they get taxed.
Yeah. But where is that tax going? Oh, it's to
better
the
yet.
woke teachers.
Better
Oh,
yet,
yeah.
Not to the
Meridian Township.
Well, yeah.
Meridian
To the woke
Township is
teachers
in the,
union.
Yes.
Meridian Township is in the process of building a new water reservoir for the residents, but because where they wanted to build it is a wetland, they had to buy twice as many acres as they were going to correct to build the reservoir. They had to buy twice as many acres to preserve, like wetlands to preserve. So they found some land up by Kalkaska that they were going to buy, and then Meridian Township said, no, it's got to be in Meridian Township. And of course, it's outrageously expensive
Oh, yeah.
in Meridian Township.
First rule of government: why
So-
buy one when you can buy two for twice the price?
So your own department for water, for drinking water for the town, you're going to charge them out the ass.
Won't waste time tonight, but however, one of these nights we're going to talk about Belding. Belding is in deep
Hey,
trouble.
that's where my dad grew up.
I lived in Belding for 2
That's where
years.
my old lady grew up and
Oh, yeah?
went to school. Yeah. Anyway, they're in deep trouble with the sewage system that they have. Their DEQ said, "You're done as of this date. Figure it out." And they're like, "We have no money to put." Anyway, that's a whole nother. Anyway, the professors brainwashing our kids.
Yeah.
Not the professor, but the professor.
We
Yes.
brought it up before.
Not your guess.
Teachers, professors, the education business. We talked about it before. I'm sorry, but teachers work. How many months out of the year do teachers work?
9.
7.
8.
I was going to say 8.
Oh, because of Christmas.
All the vacations they
Yeah.
get, every
Every
But
holiday,
it's,
whether
it's
it's
hard
between
work.
seven
I was
and
a teacher for 7 weeks and I hated it.
ROTC
Really?
teacher.
Air Force Junior ROTC. I
That's
hated
different.
it. I hated
compared to
it. Should have been
middle
easier, but
well, that's a little
They're
different
the
than
first
public
ones
school.
to bitch about money when they work 7 months out of the year. I'm sorry, you make what I make.
Well, hold on.
12 months out of the year. I'm sorry.
I don't feel bad.
I appreciate what you do.
I
but
don't feel bad.
You probably shouldn't bitch about the money.
If you wanted to be a teacher, maybe you should have done some research about what that pays.
Like you didn't
Because
know what you were getting
it's
into,
not-
A lot
and you
of-
didn't sign
Well,
on a dotted line
let me finish
accepting
up
a certain
with,
level.
I'm sorry.
that's all right. Let me finish up on Reagan's trust but verify. So you have these officers coming over from the Soviet Union to check on things where, and our guys are going over there and they're seeing pretty gee whiz stuff over there because that's what the Soviets want them to see. And they said to their guys coming over, hey, you're going to see some pretty cool stuff, but it's all show. That country is, they have nothing, it's all bluster. But whatever you see, don't believe it because it's all show. And so this one lieutenant colonel is on the bus and he had to do some inspections up in Washington. Then they're driving down I-5 and I don't know, I-5 or something. But anyway, they're driving south through California.
The scenic route.
And as they're driving, this lieutenant colonel, Soviet lieutenant colonel, he's getting real moody, and he's just shutting up, and he's pissed off. And the U.S. officers are saying, "What's wrong? Leave me alone." A little bit later, he's getting madder. "What's wrong? Just leave me alone." And finally, "What's wrong? All my life I've been told the United States is nothing. And everywhere we go, I see nothing but prosperity. I see supermarkets jam full of food." And you know them, they have to wait in line until there's no food, and then they go home and hope they get in line next time, to get the meat, and he was just pissed because he realized he'd been lied to.
Everybody out cooking on the grill.
Why do I bring that up? Because
Everyone's got
propaganda is key. Now, these guys are communists. When they say Kami Kamala, they're not joking. She's a
Kamala.
communist. And it's more of a religion than anything. And it's a religion that denies God because they want to be worshipped. They want to be the ones everyone looks up to. And how do you do that? You get rid of any dependence on any faith. No God, because we're your God. So you can't have any other God. They eliminate your dependence on your family. They wipe out your history. So you have nothing to fall back on. All you have is government. And those glorious people that run the government and make your life so wonderful, that is communism. That is worship. That is what they're after. They want to be worshipped.
It's pretty well said.
That's exactly what they want. So how do you get there? You got to lie to everybody. And how do you lie to everybody? You got to take over the media. You got to take over the educational institutions. That's
the information system.
Exactly. And this is where all these billions of dollars are going. Billionaires are putting their money. And ultimately, how has it impacted our government? This is the second thing Trump has highlighted. The swamp.
Oh, yeah.
Now we see clearly, those with their eyes open. Jesus said, "For those who have ears, let them hear, and for those who have eyes, let them see," because you can be blinded. The devil will blind you. If you're not open to the Lord, you're susceptible to being blinded. So, number one is lost track of my thought.
Calling out the media.
Yeah, you got to own the media. You got to own the
Teachers unions.
teachers.
Unions.
And oh shoot, I'm so sorry. I'll bring it up again later. So what would you want?
Nothing.
Well, we were talking about teachers for a little bit.
Yep.
A bunch of people I went to high school with went through, and one of my exes went through school, all the school and student teaching stuff to become a teacher, and then quit within a year of being an actual teacher because they didn't like the politics in the school system. If only you could have researched it.
Yeah, you signed up for it.
Well, come on.
That's
My generation is millennials.
That button
We
on
were
the side, push it up and
Fucking
push
taught
it just
to
once.
research stuff.
Yeah.
Now push and hold it.
It was
Your guys'
easier.
generation was
Push and hold it.
research everything to the
Do it again.
umpteenth freaking degree before
It's
you make
so-
any damn decision.
My generation, was
just
so
push and hold it.
easy to research whatever you wanted. Like, we were the most connected generation to that time.
They don't give more.
My generation was encyclopedias and dictionaries. You actually had a freaking set of encyclopedias on the fucking shelf.
Yep.
If you
Now
were
I ask
bougie,
you got
if you were bougie, you had your own set of encyclopedias.
Oh yeah, I remember having to do
Well, then
like
I was bougie then because I had two.
You had
book-
2 encyclopedias or 2
sets.
sets? Wow.
book reports.
wonder
I
he's
had to
good
go to
at
my
trivia.
grandma's.
No wonder he's good at trivia. He didn't have porn and he had encyclopedias.
Nope. Well, I had my
sure he
fair
had-
share of porn. I would always look over Dad's shoulder when he was looking at fucking Playboys.
You perverts.
Yeah,
My
so
virgin
what?
ears.
Shut the fuck up, dumbass.
So what kind of cool military stories? What's the craziest shit you've seen?
What got you? What were you doing in the military?
Well, I worked for the CIA. I'm like, well, we're done here.
That's what I was going to say when I drew a blank.
Yeah, CIA.
So ultimately, they took over the government, and you can see now that the FBI, the CIA,
ATF.
they're all taken over.
They're dirty.
Elite capture.
Because that's how they secured government. So we don't
All
vote
the three,
for our
all the
leaders
three
anymore.
things are anti-freedom.
Exactly. We don't vote for our leaders anymore. It's, you know, in Iran, they have this Ayatollah or this Ayatollah. Vote for one or the other, but both of them are picked by the Ayatollahs, so you don't really have a choice. And besides, they're probably rigged it so that you end up voting, selecting the one that they wanted.
Rigged
you to select
election?
anyway. And of course, the
Doesn't happen on this
Soviets.
planet.
The Soviets were like that all along, and then you look at
China.
China, they don't even have elections. They just, whatever gangster mob rises to the top, that's the one
Once
that's
you
in
have an
charge.
That's
election,
where we're
like
at here.
Exactly.
Effectively, yes. Yep.
even North Korea has elections. There's only one name on it, but
Yeah. And they were a classic example of tight media. I mean, you can't go over there. They'll invite people to go over, but they have this
they're going to censor everything.
everything, and you can't. There's a what do you call it? The political guy, but anyway.
Prime Minister.
No, it's been so long since I talked about this stuff, I forget
What,
it.
Kim Jong Il or whatever his
Kim
name
Jong
is.
Un. Kim Jong Il
Or
was his
Il.
father.
His father, yeah.
Now it's Kim
I
Jong
mean,
Un.
I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Only a
You
Korean
seem
would
to
know
know
that.
a lot about a communist
Did
nation.
you see the
Kim
video how they named their
Jong-un.
kids? They drop a stainless steel bowl
Oh, yeah.
down the staircase and ding dong
There you go.
ding.
That's how you name it.
So, yeah, that's
Wes, are you going to do that for your kids first? name?
that's a good.
I was
You didn't know
thinking
if it was
it.
gonna
I'm
be a
glad I
boy or
didn't
girl
say it.
first.
play pinball up there.
There you go.
Well, we already know it's going to be a boy given the track record of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no
Zing
shit.
Chong Van Vleck.
So yeah, they've taken over the government, and they need to. So okay, so why? I always wanted to be an astronaut, but of course that was just a dream. I knew I'd never be an astronaut.
That was before you knew the world was flat, right?
Holy shit.
I don't want to go there.
Hang out with Snoop, you can see space.
Anyway,
And then I wanted to fly fighters, but I'm never going to be good enough for fighters. And but then I took the ACT test, and I didn't do really good. I was a good student, but I couldn't read worth crap. So just a real poor reader.
I could read great. It's comprehension I have trouble with.
That's it.
Same.
Okay.
You still do.
Well, dude, I can read. I just read an article and I couldn't tell you what's in it.
Yeah. So I was just real slow, and I'd have to reread it because my
Yeah.
mind would wander every sentence, and it's hard to just focus back in on what I'm reading.
Boys build, girls read.
Here you go. So you got a girl, huh?
What the fuck have you built?
Thailand.
There you go.
You hired somebody.
No, hold on.
They shelled it.
He
I did
did
the rest.
build part of those walls while drunk. Admittedly.
It shows he put flooring on the walls.
So I ended up. So I went and I talked to the ROTC guys, and they said, "Well, your ACT score, we can't give you a scholarship." And I thought, well, if they're not going to give me a scholarship, they're not going to make me a pilot. So I guess I'll forget this. So I didn't join. And then I did. And plus, my hair was down below my shoulders, and they said, well, you can still join, and you got a couple years to decide. I go, okay, so if I said if I join, I'm going to have to wear a uniform. Yeah, once a week you have to wear a uniform. And I said, okay, I like uniforms, but I have to cut my hair,
Don't want
right?
to cut that hair. The gold
Yeah.
locks.
And this is back in the Carter days when they're booting everybody out
Everybody
of
had-
the military.
yeah.
And, everyone's evil for having fought in Vietnam. And it's like, I wasn't eager. I should have had more balls, but I wasn't that eager to highlight myself to all the, crap that I'd probably have to put up with because I like my long hair anyway. And I'm glad I had it then because I don't have it now. So I don't have any hair anymore. But and then so I did 3 years of college. I finally dropped out, and then I went back in, and I'd gotten some jobs, and I had a lot more confidence in myself. And so I thought I should look into this more, and I ended up going to Air Force ROTC and got a pilot slot. I went to the recruiter and I got a pilot slot. Went to ROTC and did pretty good. But before our Air Force ROTC, no, excuse me, I said ROTC. OTS, Air Force Officer Training School, down in Lackland, Medina Annex. So they don't have it there anymore. It's in Alabama now, but back then it was Texas. But before that was pilot screening program, called it Fish Pots, flight screening program, and I thought I'd do pretty good, but there was just a couple things I just didn't grasp quick enough, and they said, well, you know, anyone can learn given enough time. We need people that can learn quickly, so they didn't keep me in the pilot screening program, but I had tested really good on what they call the AFOQT, the Air Force Officer Qualifying Test, had really high scores, and they said, well, see, you scored really high in navigation. You want to try it? And I was pretty disappointed. I wanted to be a pilot, not a navigator, but I said, yeah, I kind of I like the structure of it, the way they, you know, you go apply for a job, you got any experience? No, you know, okay, go get some experience. Where?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, my kid ran.
So it's really hard to get experience to get hired anywhere. Whereas the military, they train you. So I like that, and they train you really good. That's what they do. They train people.
That's more of what they do than anything. Really.
Yeah, now it's all DEI crap they're training, but
Didn't earn it.
Well, then we're going to lose some fucking war because of it, and then they're going to wonder why. Sorry.
Well, actually, no. Someone pointed out online
we've been losing more.
that you can tell when they're downsizing the military when they start posting like trans people in the military and stuff like that.
That's buying votes again.
As soon as they're ramping up for a war, then they start displaying white guys in uniform. Then
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
when they're
It
ramping
doesn't
up,
help when we give away our whole fucking arsenal.
So anyway, I joined in the glory days of Reagan when he was ramping it all up, and it was good. I really liked it. I went to nav school, did really good, and so navigators, there are some fighter jet slots for navigators, and then you're called a weapon systems officer. They have a different name for it now, but it's a navigator who's essentially a co-pilot, but you're not really co-pilot. They don't want you to land the plane. They don't want you to do all the
They want you to
dangerous
tell you
stuff.
where the missiles are coming from. And
So you were Rooster and Goose?
I was Goose with Maverick. Yeah, I was the backseat guy. So
somebody else is doing the skilled part. And
yeah,
he was
doing
going,
that pilot
well, the
shit.
computer says this.
Could you find the breakers?
Yeah,
but
it
I
was-
mean,
it was
that's-
gas. I loved it.
yeah, I was going to say that's pretty badass.
It's,
so he's
it
a
is pretty
wizzo.
fucking cool.
And thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
it is
Well, it was
pretty
my
fucking
honor,
cool.
and I really am humbled by it because
Yeah, I bet.
I couldn't build a jet like that and fly it myself.
Yeah, which jets did you fly again?
F-111, several models of the F-111, which I used to dream about when I was in high school, thinking I wanted
What's
to be
the
a pilot.
F-111?
The F-111 is the fastest of the fighters. It's 2.5 Mach, and I thought, that's cool.
Of the
Oh,
time.
I like playing with
Of the
scissor
time.
wings on the
Yeah.
on the toys. Yeah,
It-
of the
it
time,
has-
of course.
and it has swept wings. So the wings are forward for landing and takeoff because you need a lot of lift. But
Back
when
for
you're going
speed.
really fast, that slows you down. You get more drag. So you swing the wing back into a delta shape, and now you have enough lift because you're going really fast. So you got plenty of lift, so you don't need it out anymore, and
Probably
you
turns at a
have
time.
much less drag. It did. It was it was rated for 9 Gs. So
God damn.
which is the minimum they wanted the fighters to do.
You were tested for 9 minimum, right?
Not before. No, you just
He's back
kinda
seat.
grow
He's
into
fine.
it.
Okay.
You seen those pilot movies where they're spinning the
Yeah, they're
astronaut
getting
movies where
redouts
they're
and blackouts.
yeah, they're going around in the centrifuge, and
Yeah.
and then the blood all leaves the brain, and they go to sleep, and then they wake up, and
You can see the factory
failed.
reset going.
you would think they'd do that, but they didn't. Not until later. After
Yeah.
I'd been in the F-111 for about 6 years, and they said, we're sending you all, now they got centrifuges for the fighters, not just the astronauts. So they had 2 or 3 centrifuges, and they were flowing everybody through it. And F-111s were kind of last. Because it's a fighter, it pulled 9Gs, but it was so big and heavy. I mean, this thing, it carried as much gas as an F-4 weighed. So this was a big airplane. And that was all because McNamara, back in the Kennedy era when they were developing it, he wanted it to do everything. And of course, when you try to build a jet that does everything, it ends up doing nothing very well.
That's like building a gun and then adding a bunch of parts and shit on
Yeah.
it. Now it's super heavy. It's a
Yep,
bitch
you
to-
can't-
bitch to truck with.
Can't carry it into combat. Yep, that's it. That's with the wings forward, because that one is headed for a tanker, no doubt.
It looks for.
So it's
There's back.
Ah, Naruto style.
and
I did that across the.
That's what we called. What did we call that? I don't even remember anymore. But they lit the afterburners while they dumped the fuel. That's why you see
Oh.
that big flame in the back. Well, they wouldn't let us do that because they didn't want to blow up the plane. But Australians do it. We sold them to Australia, and they didn't have that restriction. And as far as I know, they didn't blow up any.
Sounds like
planes.
Australians get to have more fun.
They do.
Right?
Yeah, the Aussies.
They get to drive flamethrowers.
Yeah. So the F-111 had an ejection capsule. Oh, I was saying it pulls 9Gs, but it's so big and heavy that once it pulls
that your
9Gs,
accurate?
it goes from 600 knots to 300 knots, and then it's dead because
It slows down
then the
so
fight,
damn much.
the
Then
fighters,
yeah, the-
enemies will roll in on you and shoot you out of the sky. So our tactic was to drop low and go fast, because they don't really want to chase us down there at 100 feet above the ground, because it's too easy to run into something while you're laser focused on the guy you're trying to
Right.
get. So
Did you see any combat?
I got 2 sorties over Bosnia. Nobody shot at us. We just flew over there for a couple hours. In the F-15E, I was in the F-15E also. So it had an ejection capsule because at 2.5 Mach, if you eject then,
Oh, God.
say goodbye to your arms and legs.
It'd be liquefied.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It would beat you up pretty bad. So they developed this, and there's plenty of F4 ejections that have dead bodies that came out they came out alive, but that was the last minute they knew that they were alive.
Hopefully it was quick.
Yeah, it's pretty quick, I would think. I wouldn't know from experience.
Still, I mean, there's
No testimonies.
that video that the professor sent us where the guy got chopped in half. He said he got chopped right here, and I'm like, he had to have had 30 seconds of laying there because he got chopped right here,
Socked
somewhere in
right.
here in the top half. A machine cut him and crushed his bottom half. But there's got to be 20, 30 seconds of laying there going,
I'm dead.
yeah.
Well,
Could be.
that's that.
Could well be. Unless the shock put him out. So,
Told the boss this machine was dumb.
But I'm sure that there's been numerous somehow Air Force nuance accidents that killed people that the government probably have never spoken about.
right. And I was a safety officer, so I worked on mishap boards. There's they misnomer it as an accident board. There is an accident board, but an accident board is when it's illegal and they're trying to find out whether they need to do punitive measures on somebody that was irresponsible. A mishap board is different, and that's what all accidents initially have, a mishap board. And that's to just try, not assign any blame, just try to find out what the heck went wrong. So
Okay.
that we can tell people not to do that. or we can make changes. Maybe change the hardware or procedures or something. So I was on several mishap boards, but I can't tell you what that is because in order to have people tell you the truth, you tell them, don't worry, it's safe with me. So I won't tell anybody.
Right.
So you don't get that.
These things happen, but
We
They
need to
were
know for
stupid.
next time so nobody else.
So we
has to
release
pay
it
the
to other
price.
pilots that need to know. But, it wasn't for general consumption because otherwise people won't be truthful. And if they're not truthful with you, then you can't solve the problems. So anyway, you got the ejection capsule, and that's pretty cool. And it worked pretty good, but, as things modernize, they start putting more and more stuff into the capsule, and the capsule got heavier, but the parachute didn't get bigger. And so it would...
So now they're safer when they get out, but the crash landing sucks.
It had a tube that would inflate.
for water and landing.
Well, partly for that, but just to cushion the impact on the ground as well.
Oh yeah.
So it would blow, and then that would take a lot of the impact out. But particularly on the Wizzo side, in the F-111, you sat side by side. The reason why you sat side by side is because in an ejection capsule, it was easier to do it that way. And
Doesn't
also,
have to be as long.
and the jet, as big as it was made a little shorter because they wanted it to be the do-everything jet. McNamara, it's got to be everything for everybody. So the Navy, they said, well, we can't have these super long jets on our aircraft carriers. You're going to have to make it shorter. So to make it shorter, put the pilot side by side. That shortened it a little bit. Plus, it had a big radar on it. The radar pretty much drives the size, engineering-wise, of the rest of the airplane. If you have a big nose on it, then the airplane's going to be bigger behind it. So an F-16 is a lot smaller than an F-15. The F-16's got a much smaller radar. Smaller radar, it doesn't have the range. It can't look out and detect the enemy as far out. But boy, they're small. I had to go against F-16s all the time, and they were nasty. They had a superior radar, but they were so quick, and they would move around and didn't have enough time to paint them for long, and they were real hard to paint. So you might get a little blip, and you go, is that just one of those spurious things, or is that actually a return out there? And if you can get 3 or 4 blips on it, then you go, okay, that's real. If you just see it one time, you don't know. And it might just pass through your coverage. You're sweeping like this, and it just went through once, and so
How
right
far
now,
out,
where do
how
I
far
look?
out is the radar getting, man?
100 miles for the F-15.
Oh damn! So you definitely can't see it.
I don't remember what I can tell.
Okay, but
I might have
how
just
fast
told
do
you something I
F-15s
wasn't supposed
go?
to tell you, but 1.5, I think was
No, like normal,
2, Mach 2.
normal flying.
We typically, regardless of the aircraft, we typically flew. Typically, it was 480 nautical miles per minute hour.
So
Which-
100-mile range is up in 15 seconds?
No, 480 miles is, we would use that because divisible by 60. So 60 minutes in an hour. So 480 would be 8 miles a minute. 600 knots would be, and I'm talking nautical miles, which is bigger than a statute mile. Statute mile is 5,280 feet, and a nautical mile is 6,021 or something like that, just over 6,000.
But either way, with 100 miles of visibility, you're crossing that in 15 to 20 seconds?
100 miles? No, that'd be about 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So
I did that conversion wrong.
at 600 knots, that was great because that's 10 miles a minute. That's
Yeah.
That's scooting.
10 miles a
Definitely
minute.
faster than freaking dipshit over here drives.
And
Well,
that's
that's not difficult.
That's a nautical mile, so that's like one
I
of the
bet
fifth
the-
statute
I
miles.
bet the F-15's got a 305 in it.
Yeah, dual carburation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got that Q-jet in there.
I mean, the numbers are make you scratch your head and go, damn, sucker.
Plus, if you're going faster than that, you're burning gas faster. So if you want to, go visit your enemy a little bit further away, you want to conserve gas.
Drive like an old lady.
Yeah. You go into
Or time.
afterburner and you lose it fast.
All right.
Because what an afterburner is doing is just dumping gas
Extra.
into the like turbo, into the exhaust, and then it's igniting it. And when it ignites, then you get that extra boost.
It
So-
pulls it and makes it. Right.
Well, the way a jet works is actually you're just trying to pass as much air through the engine as you can. You're igniting that air to get it out quicker. So the faster you get the air passing through the engine, then the faster you're going.
Right.
So you're really just igniting air to get it to pass through. Just a big fan.
A lot of big fans.
Yeah. Yeah, the 16th stage bleed was what we used to take our heat off from in our pressurization. So at the 16th stage of fan is where we would tap into it. So there's more stages behind that. I forget how many, 24 or something like that.
It's pretty good.
And then,
Yeah, and all these precision cut vanes on each stage, all the way around.
And here I sit in my freaking chair.
titanium blades. And they're spinning really fast, so sometimes they would, if the engine disintegrated, a blade would go through the airplane and maybe into a fuel tank or something, or into some mechanism that
That's
makes
when you
it-
bug out.
Yep, you
Unplanned
can't-
afterburner.
And Ty's sitting here, all he can think about is how many flex fans he could stack on the front of a small wide van.
Man, those are pretty good facts, though.
Yeah.
Damn. That's
So-
impressive.
I loved flying in Europe. We would do low levels up in Scotland. It's just beautiful up there. And if you're going over the land, you'd see these herds of cows or herds of sheep, and we're down at 200 feet because the F-111 was really famous for. Well, the Vietnamese called it silent death, whispering death, because you wouldn't hear it until after it passed over. You're going so fast. You're usually doing 660 or something like that when they're on their bombing run, about ready to drop bombs. They're going 600, 660.
Even if the bomb didn't go off at 660 knots,
It's gonna make a hell of a dent.
dude,
Yeah,
that's just
true.
sheer speed.
That's true. But like a bowling ball tumbling through.
I mean, yeah, there's a bowling ball rolling across the floor, and then there's one that just got shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
So,
So you wouldn't even hear it until after it passed by, and then it was loud, very loud. So
I don't know how long you wanted to go into that, but now he's retired in Florida. And escaped the nice.
I haven't drank enough water today. That's why my brain is kind of.
well, I got you covered with the water. You want a
Yeah, I
cold
could
one?
use
You want a
some
cold
water.
one or a warm one?
Cold would be nice.
In the fridge.
Hey, cinch us up.
First beer for the night?
So
Don't judge me.
At this point, you might as well be using a sippy cup.
So did your house in Florida get harmed by the hurricanes?
looks like the house survived. No power. My wife's still without power and intermittent cell phone service.
She's
It
down there?
works and then it doesn't work.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'd think she'd come up, but
So,
thank you.
So
well, that
did
brings
you?
up another question. I guess why? All right.
Did you?
She doesn't like our son.
Oh,
My mom loves the cold.
Did
that's
you?
it. The cold.
Did you see that great relief effort that the U.S. government did and shipped 3 pallets of chainsaws to help with hurricane cleanup?
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
No, I didn't hear about that much.
electric
I didn't know they did
chainsaws.
that much. Electric chainsaws.
Yeah,
With no power.
to a place with no power.
Good thinking.
Great.
Fucking dumbasses.
And then Biden at one of the he was questioned, "Hey, what about Trump?" And he was like, "Trump should go help.
Yeah.
You should do something."
Trump was letting.
He
What was it,
did.
linemen? I think it was linemen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mar-a-Lago.
all rooms at his freaking.
Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Over 250 linemen. Yep.
I think they had to like. I think they had to share a room, which I know is terrible.
Oh boy.
Darn, they couldn't sleep under their truck. Oh man.
Some of them were.
They had to sleep on a bed instead of the driver's seat of the truck. Ah.
All that damage, even if they shipped them 3 skids of gas chainsaws, that's a pretty small dent.
Yeah.
But the fact that they made them electric because they're trying to ram the whole electric thing down our throats, with a town that's never going to have power other than fucking generators,
Brilliant.
gas power generators.
That is so brilliant. I mean, they just talk about shooting yourself in the foot. Prove how bad your policies are.
It was such a
In a
bad
disaster, you can't do anything.
It was such a bad washout that then you see the casket rolling down the river.
Oh no, they had some
Cemeteries got washed out.
of that. Oh boy.
I got the video somewhere. I have to find it. Right. This casket is just ripping down the river.
They're taking Halloween a little too seriously over there.
Dude. I mean, maybe it's a weird...
Surprised you didn't head down to pick that up for a freaking prop.
Dude. Actually, Cliff is the first one to tell me about it. So I went out to... At my 2-hour mark, I went out to my car. I started Googling it. And then I immediately found the video. And I'm like, holy shit, he wasn't kidding. That is insane. The cemetery's got... you wouldn't have thought about it, right? Until you see it.
6 feet down. He's gone.
Oh, you just got... That whole area got decimated.
Speaking of cemeteries,
Yeah.
Tuttle.
Yeah, there's one right
Tuttle Road there.
One on either end.
That's where my mother and father are buried.
Oh, really?
Just a block from here.
That's not even a block.
It's next to his sister's old house.
Yeah.
That
It's
place is
Belcom
nice.
Cemetery. Yep.
That place is
Belcom's
nice,
down
but
there,
there's
and I
a
think
lot
Tuttle's down
further
there.
for them.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yes.
Now
Actually,
it's, now it's a horse farm.
yeah, it's kind of a hobby farm. They got everything. They got goats and sheep, and getting you two out of there is the trick. No, man. How we sitting?
Ooh, I wasn't even looking.
Fat, like always.
Just over an hour.
Well, we can take a quick break and
Come
come back
back
where we
with-
were, or talk about.
Anything else?
Yeah. Let's take a break. Send us out.
Chick.
Here's those wish us well.
All the rest can go to hell.
See ya.